Hey family, how are you? Oh yeah, let me take a breath. That's kind of just a reminder that there's something bigger than us that's really navigating all this. Thank goodness. What would I do if I had to depend on America for my breath? I thought I'd come outside. It might feel a little better out here. How are you today? Janine Macklin here, transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. And I thought I'd make it through a whole week without missing. I was sitting there thinking, I don't feel like it. I'm just really disappointed in America. It just makes me sad because when I think about our kids, that's our future. And to handle their education with such disregard just seems so out of line for who we say we are. I mean, if we don't make sure our kids are educated, I mean, it's already a discrepancy and disparages in education as it is, particularly when it comes to the public school. I mean, I have my son in a private school. I sent a message to them yesterday asking, what is the tuition compensation? Because last year he was out, from March, April, May. Okay, that's 3 months. And then whatever time he's out. But that's private school. But for public schools, it's like, it is just, I don't even know what to call it, appalling. We're so greedy. And I can't say we, because it's not we, are so greedy that we have not considered the provisions for our children to be able to go to school. And granted, there are different ways to do things. I'm kind of liking this ideal about them being outside. They like being out there playing anyway. But I know we have kids who have auditory issues. We have kids who learn in different kinds of ways. And just throwing something at it to say, okay, this is what the kids get while you ran off with all the money somewhere else. It's like, I just thought we were better than that. I guess when I was growing up, I lived in the black community and we didn't have what we had, but because the community was so connected and so loving and so fun and arguing and playing and fun and everything, I don't think we knew what we didn't have. But now, having moved out of all of it and can look back in, you can see what you don't have. You can see how our kids aren't being educated and prepared for a future, even though we're not even sure what that future is going to look like now. But clearly it's going to be a technological future. They're not even being prepared for that. And they took all of the, coming to get some orange juice and green juice. They took all the vocational services out of the schools. So they're not learning how to do any construction. They're not learning how to do automotive. They're not learning just the basic skills that we had when we were in school, that if you didn't want to go to college, you could go work in an automotive shop. You could go and work in the trades. I'm always looking at who's coming in my house to do my plumbing, who's coming in my house to do electricity, who's coming in the house to help with the garage door opener. How do students and kids learn those kind of basic skills that we need? That we need that to stand. This country, I have a master's and all that stuff and all the other degrees. That you kind of need me, but you don't really need me. You need people who help keep the foundation of this country running. And it seems like that's the very group of people that you're ignoring. So I thought I'd stay in my little space today. But then there was a greater call to be here every day, like I had said. So, hi, Kat. How are you? How was Palm Springs besides hot? So anyway, that was just the disappointment in it all, and just knowing and trusting that something bigger is going to figure it out for us and help us figure it out. Because if you've been listening to me, in March I was talking about the kids in school. It's like, okay, what are we going to do? I just know it's millions of kids. It's not even like 1,000 here or 100. There's like millions of kids all over the United States we have to deal with. And then the recourse of this won't end in December. This probably won't end until January 2021 or whenever we have the doggone vaccine. So is academia going to be compromised for all these months? And then what the frick is going to happen when winter comes? We don't have the worst winter, but they're going to be outside when it's raining and snowing. Come on, America. There's got to be tons of empty buildings on this planet that we aren't being used or that we're not using. You can put the homeless in. There are billions of empty buildings that people own that they're just making money off of or not making money because they're not renting them, that we could put students in and spread them everywhere. But it does rain a little bit in America around, no, well, Thanksgiving we usually have the sun, but around December and January, it just can't be that we're outside. Yes, I know it's our life now. Oh my gosh, it's just unacceptable. And now it starts to feel so big. I got to give it to God. It just feels so big. It's like such a disservice. How dare you? How dare you? All the money that's running. We are a wealthy country and we're acting like we're living on scarcity. And I guess we are because people are robbing the treasure chests of all the money. But we're bigger than this and we're better than this. I'm just holding that space, and the God life in the universe holds something bigger for us. But what we're learning about ourselves and what we're revealing, or what's being revealed about who we are along the way, we're going to make it. Moms are pulling together and they're going to do this and do that and make sure the kids get this or that. I'm sure I'll be up at the school talking to the president, asking, what are you going to do? I told them to draw circles on the grass and tell them to put, 4 kids to a pod for their lunch, and they had to stay in their pod. They couldn't be switching back and forth. That's the easy part. Kids are eating anywhere. It's what the environment for them to learn is the issue, and that they're calm enough, they're present enough to actually get the material and then integrate it and take the test and then pass to the next grades. My child's, hi, Hummingbird, thank you for the confirmation. My child's an auditory learner, so he needs to be sitting up in somebody's class. They need to be in his face, and he needs to be in their face. This sitting in front of a computer, it's okay a little bit. Reading books on his own, that's okay. But he wants to be in the class. He needs to be interacting, talking. I'm sorry, I keep looking at this Hummingbird. I switched to him, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Okay, did he went? Okay, never mind. So that had caught my attention. I thought, wow. What are we going to do? We knew in November, the leaders knew in December. And then March, 3 months later, 4 or 5 months later. And I'm not as concerned about people leaving the planet. I'm real clear that people leave the planet when they're supposed to. We have this notion about death that, the older ones should die and the young ones shouldn't, and everybody else in between, I guess, is supposed to live for forever. The universe teaches us a whole lot about the quality and the power of our lives and valuing lives, and reminding us that anybody's time could be at any very moment, and we just don't know, which is why we're supposed to be living the best, amazing lives we can in each minute. And this whole pandemic is causing us to be present in each moment. And so that's just what I was present with. Doggone schools and the government and their poor administration of that particular piece to the puzzle. I know the puzzle has millions or billions of pieces. This is probably the biggest puzzle that there would be, trying to put all this back together. And I'm clear you have to kind of, I don't say tear it down, but you have to pull it back to reveal what is so you can see it. Then we have to see it and then decide what we're going to do about it. And as the people we argue about it first, and then somewhere in there we come to an agreement. But the bottom line is our schools need money. They need custodians at the very minimum. They need custodians to come in. There are jobs for people right there. Hiring custodians to come in at nighttime to clean up everything and then come back in potentially during the middle of the day and then again in the evening. Those are going to be full-time jobs. I can't imagine that all the school districts aren't going to be asking for more custodial services. But how could we be in this situation? We never would have thought that we, the big, bad United States of America, would be here. And here we are. Our kids almost at the level of so many other countries that struggle with their kids getting education. Oprah took her money and her schools to Africa because she said the kids here didn't want education. Our kids do want education. Maybe they didn't want it back then. So, I'm sure I'll keep breathing. We've got to go do some education anyway. He's got some English assignment we need to do. His English reading for the school semester coming. And he just finished the online geometry course. We're going to 11th grade. So we're going to do what we have to do. And you're absolutely right. This is our new normal. This is our life. That's why on Monday or last week I said, this is it. Don't keep waiting to see, okay, is it going to get better? Is it coming? There's nothing coming. We are it. We are our future. We are the ones that are going to plan it. We are the ones that are going to have to step up and take the action and create it, kind of like they did probably back then in the 18 whatever when they set this puppy up in the first place. We're the ones that's going to have to do it. There's no magic, anything coming to save us. We've got to be willing to talk to each other. We've got to be willing to listen. We've got to be willing to understand and see each other. It's just the simple fact that we don't know each other, and the media has us so afraid of each other. It's like we don't want to get to know each other. Our kids are the only one that gets to know each other. They go to school and run around and play and whatever. They don't care as long as somebody catch their ball or throw them a ball. But when it comes to us as adults, it's a whole nother thing. It's like trying to move a whole planet to another kind of way of thinking, living, and being, and saying we're going to land over here. And I think we started it. It started without us, really, because we didn't get on board till March. But it started moving, and moving a whole entire planet of 6 billion people. That's God's lift. I can't say it's a heavy lift. That's all God's lift. To move us into something more amazing, to be the amazing people we can be on this planet, to think about others, to care about others to some degree, to move beside and away from all the separations, the religion, the politics, the race, the sex, and the wealth that separates us, and recognize ourselves as humanity. That is not a tall order. We can do that. We can do that. It's just simply opening our eyes, looking at a person and saying, hi, how are you? I see you. You matter. Our kids need the education. Our parents want to go back to their jobs and do what they've been doing and providing either services, their amazing, amazing skills and abilities. People have a lot to offer on this planet, and we're just sitting at home. And I know we're offering. I'm doing my programs online. I have the women coming together to create their wealth plans. And I'm sure they're like, why are we creating wealth plans? Because you have to have a plan going forward. Whatever your other plan was, it doesn't work anymore. So we create a plan. What's your plan for your health? What's your plan for your finances? What's your plan for your relationships? And what's your plan for your religion? And create a new plan going forward. And what is that going to look like? And what are the thoughts you're going to think for those plans to become a reality? And what are the actions you're going to take for those plans to become a reality? So I moved all mine online. I've invited you guys to come and be a part of it. But our kids can't be online. All children aren't the same. They don't learn the same way. How do the children who were in special ed, how does that get met? The children who were 5, oh God, it has so long since I've been connected to the schools, but the AB 36, 32 kids, the kids who have the IEPs, what's supposed to happen to them? The children who are in special needs, who have special needs and in special services, how is that supposed to happen at home? Really? And here's the only thing is that they just haven't thought about it because they're so busy thinking about all the other stuff that they didn't think about school until what? Now in July? I was thinking about school in March. So you're right, Crystal. Some days it can be overwhelming. And I think this is the most overwhelming for me is schools. And I got my son in private school, so we can probably move some things around and manipulate some things and talk to them and make some things happen. But I'm more concerned about the general population of students who are in all the other public schools on these campuses, in these states, in the world. How do they get their services? How do they get the needs? What about the children who are handicapped? What about the children who are deaf or hard of hearing, who needs all the different services? What about them, America? And granted, some of them won't go to school, and that's great. I am really hoping and praying. Some kids want to stay at home and their parents want them at home. It's like, okay, great. So that takes care of some to a degree because they then need computers. If they're in public school, they may not have computers. They may not have supplies. They don't necessarily have the teachers. But okay, they want to stay home. Then there's some kids who want to do half at school and half at home. Okay, God bless you on that one. My son cannot do that. I will get lost and he'll get lost in the process too. I'm just keeping it real. We either need to be on campus, and being home is not an option. We need to be on campus. Right. If you have a high functioning autistic student, how are these kids going to get the services? This country will be denying them of the very rights that they're supposed to have. We have eight IEPs. We have what 503s. I used to do AB 3630, AB 3632, special ed to help children get the services they needed and get the mental health services they needed to be able to even understand the academics that they were involved in. School is not an easy piece. It's not going to be an easy lift. America has missed the ball on this one. It is not going to be an easy lift to try and have children who have so much varying degrees of educational abilities at home. And then what about our future? I got 11th grader. There's thousands of 11th graders everywhere. There's thousands of 12th graders everywhere getting ready to move through this last year and go out into the world to do what? So, it always comes back to taking a breath, huh? I like to stand on the soil. I came out here to get some orange juice and green juice. I just anchor myself on the ground because, even though we call it the ground, even though we look down there and we see grass, that, of course, underneath that, right? That underneath there's a planet. And that planet is connected to the infinite power of the universe. And everything is connected to that planet. This is not just grass that we just look at. Oh, it's nice, pretty grass. No, this is a planet. This is a planet. We're in the middle of the universe. And then we anchor ourselves there. And then we just come back to see the beauty. Aren't those beautiful? I put fertilizer on them. They look like they're about to grow as tall as a tree. So there's just some components to the school piece that I just don't think that we have thought about that will not necessarily be the easiest thing to solve. And it just hurt my heart. It's just, you guys can play games up there. You want all the money. You want to be greedy. You want to do all this trafficking stuff with the young girls. Look at them. You want to talk about black folks. I'm sorry, but there's not a black person up there that's done a trafficking like Jeff Epstein and the prince this and the prince that and everybody else with all this status. There's no black men being a part of that. But you guys can parade that around like it's nothing. Trafficking young girls. This is what you do with the money you do have. While there are people who want their children to be educated and learn, although we probably need to look at that education because it's quite slanted. Nonetheless, this is what America is. This is what we're about. Men in high places with a whole lot of money trafficking people. Harvey Weinstein. The list goes on and on and on, but not enough money to educate our kids. Are we a third world country now? You're absolutely right, Kat. My son is the social and emotional piece that's huge for them. They weren't built to be sitting up in a house doing work on a computer. How they develop their skills and their muscles is bumping up against each other in school and learning how to work out problems and situations. And you get on my nerves. Well, how are you going to deal with this? And my son told me he went home. We came home one summer and one girl was, I don't even know what they said. Maybe I guess she was heterosexual. And then when she came back another summer, she was bisexual. She came back again, she was pansexual. There's so much they learn from their interactions they won't get with us as adults. So there's such a component when it comes to academics. So all I can do is continue to hold a space for something amazing to unfold that we just can't see right now. That some kind of way moms will have to unite on this issue. I don't know if we're going to do it across states or what, because I guess each state is different somewhat. But it is imperative that we look at what solutions we're going to come up with and just look at ourselves as a country. It's like when they say you got caught with your pants down. Yeah, we naked in the snow. Our butts are freezing. That's the way for an analogy. We are naked in the snow. And I think when it started, people may have thought, oh, this is cute. Okay, we'll be home for a little while. But now we're heading into 6 months. March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. We'll be at 6 months at this. And it ain't cute. And America continues to seem to be behind. There's no place where we're ahead. How come we weren't thinking about school in March? He couldn't decide to assign a group of people, not the person he has in charge of schools, but someone else to then work on schools starting in March. And he couldn't assign somebody to come over here and work with the governors together to decide on what's going to happen in each state. You're just randomly sending the police into Portland, and you're going to send them into Chicago and Detroit. Interesting, all the places where a lot of people of color are. You know, you couldn't do, I mean, let the women run the doggone country. I can tell you, you can appoint like 10 of us. We'll show you how to divide things up. We'll show you how to assign people. We'll show you how to put people in charge to do things and create this whole circle for you to get some stuff done. Because obviously you guys don't know how to do it up there. You'd rather argue back and forth about Democrat and Republican. This is bigger than Democrat and Republic. This is about humanity and the quality of humanity on this planet. And it starts with our babies. I'll be gone in 10 or 20 years or 30 years. They'll be here. They'll just be hitting their stride. And this is the country you want to leave for them? You know, what is it? The millennials want to complain about the boomers that we didn't do something. Oh, baby, what we're not doing right now is a piece of work. The boomers may not have did whatever back then, but what we're doing right now, oh, this will go in history for America. That's the best we've got. So, you know, I'm almost like, you can miss me when it comes to black men in America. That has nothing to do with anything when it comes to you and the way you're treating black men in America. When I look at Jeff Epstein, when I look at Prince, whoever it is, and the woman, what's her, Maxwell, whatever, do you know how many men there are like that on this planet that are doing those kind of things because they have money? And it represents what? And you want to talk about a black man walking down the street with his pants sagging down, that you're afraid of him, and he's harmless, nothing on him, no weapons and no money, but you're not afraid of Jeff Epstein and all these other men in America with all this money doing what they're doing? Come on, America. Get the priorities straight. At least if you're going to be filthy, rich and nasty about it, molesting girls, how much you want a massage, I can't even give you an alternative for that. So I don't even know where that was going. Just stop it. All that money, you can't do anything else. You think because you give your money to the philanthropy, that's good. And then you do all this on the side, it cancels it out? You know, it's just disgusting. It's beyond just nasty. And that's not those white men that's doing all that. Nobody's shooting them. Nobody's trying to get rid of them. It is just too much for a country that was at one point the greatest country on this planet. And even then, what I thought about it probably wasn't true, because I didn't know how much America played two sides against each other. You know, we fund one group with money, and then we fund the same group that they're fighting with the weapon. And here we are in the middleman funding both. When 9/11 happened, I thought that happened for a reason. Where were we that we weren't supposed to be doing what we weren't supposed to be doing, that the American people didn't know about? And now here we are again in some more BS because you guys can't make some doggone decisions. And then you want to give us two people to vote for it and we don't even like either one of them? Come on, America's got to be better than this. For this, you can go live in any other country if it's going to be like this. What? What is France and Brazil and Italy? What do they got on us? We're the ones that supposedly had the resources. We're the ones that supposedly had the money. We're the ones that supposedly had everything. We're the big bad USA. But other countries are kicking our butt with even less resources than we supposedly have. I don't hear anything about their kids not going to school. I hear people pulling their kids out of our school in America to send them back to their schools because we don't have schools. They are making sure their kids go to school. And America's like, oh, well, guess we'll just have to see when it comes to our kids. Really? That's the best you have for our kids? You can miss me with that one. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Everybody else is clear that our kids need to be in school. They need to be learning. And we need to put that as our number one priority. I'm surprised we're not in some war right now. We probably is, and we just have forgot about it. This is the war right now. It's a war on education. Kids can't even go back to college. Do you know what that means for their college degrees? You know how you're interrupting their life and the flow of what they're trying to do and create and who they're becoming? This is about who they're becoming. These kids are growing up. We are already old and we are who we are. but they're unfolding, they're growing, they're evolving. This is all impacting them. And the one place where they get to hang out and kind of learn things and test out their skills is the school campus. And you're going to take that away. So anyway, I tried to come on here and be polite. She is so cute. She is riding down the street on her bike. And she is talking to some kind of language. That's good. I'm going to go get my bike today. I have some paperwork to do. My bike is in here in the garage on a flat tire. I keep saying, I'm going to go get my bike, walk it up there to the gas station, and put some air in it. Anyway, I guess in the end, we just have to take care of ourselves. So I suspect moms are going to come together some kind of way. We'll do what we need to do, just like the moms came together when they got tired of the drunk drivers. And we'll probably have to do this because I can see, since he doesn't have a child, since the child that he had with the woman he's married to, he treats them differently from what I understand from their culture. She's more like a arm piece. We're going to have to be the ones. Because if anything, now that's where we need her. She the doggone, I sound like some kettle child. She the doggone, Mrs. President. It would seem like she would be advocating for school, but I can't remember what her mission was. Oh, it was bullying. Well, we're not in school to bully no more. Can you shift your mission to education that all students deserve? Isn't it a law that they deserve an education? That's what we need her to be doing. Sheesh. Okay, so some kind of way I got to bring it all back to center. And for me, that's usually action. So I already sent some messages to my son's counselor this morning for the 11th grade. It's like, okay, what are we doing for the 11th grade? What do we need to do? And do I need to talk to the president? We're doing the ACT. We're going to take a trip. I figure we'll drive somewhere and listen to a book on audio. Good morning. For one of his reading assignments. We'll listen to that, and then he can write that when we get to the hotel, wherever we find a place to stay. We've got one reading assignment, and then there's two other assignments on opinion statements. He's got to pull some articles and give opinions. So, take a deep breath, keep breathing. Thank you, God, because if I didn't have a breath, I couldn't be out here fussing about America, huh? And my tibia is good, so I just have to start exercising. I'm sure that'll take some of the edge off. But some mornings I just want to stay home and stay in the bed because every single morning of my life I've gotten up and gone to work or gotten up and did work for my business. So maybe over the weekend because I'm up now. Connect with whoever in your area, connect at your schools. I would say connect with your PTA's chairs, connect with the chairs to your schools, wherever you were when you were in school last, and see what's being organized, see what kind of help they need. That's what I'm doing with mine. See, I might have been cooking in there, didn't burn down my house. See what, orange juice. See what resources they have, see how students are going to get the computers, because every school doesn't have computers. My son has a computer iPad that he uses for his schoolwork, but I know a lot of the public schools didn't have that. Contact the district. They're there. They've got to be there by now. They didn't take, even if they took a break, they couldn't be off. A lot of administrators for the schools stayed at schools because a lot of those students needed the food in the morning. So I have 3 friends who are principals. I have 2 who are superintendents that have been passing out like 6,000 meals, breakfast and lunch. So they're there. Go there, call them, knock on the doors and find out what's going on, what needs to happen. I see them putting things outside on TV. I'm like, okay, that's good. We still got to monitor them, and I'm sure some parents will keep their kids at home, which will be great, because that lowers the population for those who actually do want to go. Contact your superintendents. That's the only thing I can think of at this point, because the issue, see, if Governor Newsom, as much as I love him, and Cuomo too, had just left things alone, we could have gone to school because we were already cleaning our school and getting prepared. But then when he stopped it, that meant automatically now you have to stay home. So I'm holding a space that's going to be for no more than 1 or 2 weeks. And then after that, they'll gradually start to bring us into schools. little by little. But I'm real clear that we're going to have to advocate for it to happen. Because if they can just have our kids at home, why would they? Why do you know how much that's saving potentially in money? I don't know. I haven't done the math. It's just a thought. They may just think, okay, well, it's okay if the kids are at home. We'll just have the kids at home. Oh, to the no. Our kids are not staying at home. That's just not going to happen. So we will have to speak up. We will have to advocate. Breathe, cry, scream, go break some dishes in the middle of a parking lot where nobody's there, so nobody will call the police on you and think you're crazy. Get the anger and frustration out. Spin around in a circle if you need to deal with the overwhelm. Come outside and jump up and down. Tell me I had a problem. I guess I can't do that. It's working fine. Come back. And put on some music, and dance. See, this is the pieces, and technically we're in summer, so we have to at least have the kids have some kind of summer. And at the same time, we got to focus on school, which isn't here yet. So it splits our attention from being present. But that's just the way it is for the moment. But dream big, create some wonderful memories, create something to laugh about and have fun about. I don't know where you are. It's not as warm, but I always contend, water balloon fights are always fun. They like to hike. The hiking trails are open. And if you can, load them up. Go to some of the state parks and put out a tent. Enjoy nature and enjoy that time together. If you have the space and you can do it, get outside and watch some movies outside, under the stars. And most of all, live life and love each other. Because in the end, that's all we really got. Whether we go to school, whether we ever go back to work, who knows what. It's just, it's just unfathomable that where we are is where we are. And yet it's where we are. And I still know it's transformation. And I know transformation is uncomfortable. I do it with my clients. And they go like, ugh, when I'm pushing them about certain things. So maybe that's it. America is pushing us to be more active and involved in the lives that we've been living and not just trust our government. Just trust them blatantly. Is to continue to ask questions and make choices and to hold people accountable, including ourselves, and hold ourselves accountable to our future. Okay. Take good care. Yeah. Do that. Fix some breakfast for the food. Get my bike and get some physical exercise in me. See how that moves me through this piece where we're in right now. Hey, Rosalind Carter, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. Take good care, everyone. And yeah, I will be here tomorrow. Hey, Ben. Hi, family. How are you? They go walk in every morning. Yeah, see, we all know each other around here. It's going to be okay, though. We're going to get to the other side. Right now, we're like in the middle of the storm. In the middle of the storm. So hang tight. Hold on to those you love. Hold them real, 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 real close. Have a great day as well. Blessed day, wonderful day, fun day. I'll see you tomorrow.